Hey everyone, my name is Jason Fox. I am the lead SOC analyst here at RapDev for the managed security practice. We're joined by Ron and Vinod from Datadog and Beyond Finance, respectively. They'll give a short introduction of themselves when their section of the presentation comes up. So nice to meet everyone virtually. I think we'll give it about another minute or two, and then we'll kick it off. Okay, I think we are good to move on. Ooh, let me move to our title slide here. So I already introduced myself. My name is Jason Fox, and here you can see my co-presenters, Ron and Vinod. Ron is a staff product manager at Datadog. He'll be talking about the Bits AI section, and Vinod is from our partner here, Beyond Finance. And he'll come in to give Beyond Finance's perspective, add some extra color and background to the content that we're going to be going over today. So our webinar here is cutting through the noise. We know how pressed for time security operations centers are, security operations writ large are. And this is going to be talking about how we can cut through false positives, how we can use Datadog in inventive ways, not just the typical ways that security practitioners know how to do, but try to scale security in a good way, get through that noise, get those false positives out, tune things so that when something comes across your screen, it's not lost and you can action it. So here's our agenda for today, right? We hit those introductions. We're going to hit the unified observability and security side. That's talking about Datadog writ large. Its security suite has really improved, has become just a really great suite of offerings over the last few years. So we're going to talk about what's offered there, and then also how Datadog gets that information out to people, does things autonomously. We're going to have a little bit of section of like who we are as RapDev, managed security. And we're going to talk about Beyond Finance's journey there with their DevSecOps from using Datadog's observability suite only, and then moving also incorporating the security side. We're going to follow that up with Bits AI. If you don't know what Bits AI is, Ron has a really great set of slides here, good introduction to Bits AI and how it really helps out SOC analysts, how whole security operation centers. And then we'll hit it with a Q&A at the end. So if anything does come up, anything comes to your mind, want to know more, or how we did something, throw it there in the chat. We'll get to it at the Q&A. So Datadog and RapDev. So Datadog, obviously, it's a unified observability, but it also is a security platform. It is, I think they announced this week that they are now over 1,000 integrations. So that's a huge plethora of integrations that they've been able to build over the years. But they also have like dashboarding and incident management, event workflows. Most people know Datadog as observability, but they should really be talked about as a security solution as well. So what does RapDev do? We partner with Datadog. We have really deep and actionable experience with not only the observability, but the security side. Infrastructure monitoring, application performance monitoring, log management, right? We help, we implement, we work with you to get that full stack monitoring throughout your software development lifecycle. But really, Datadog security, it's security portfolio. If you haven't seen something like this before, like the full suite of offerings, You may not realize how much Datadog how many solutions Datadog actually gets in one platform. And we'll talk about that single platform concept on the next slide. But we're starting up at the top there at code security. This is getting that shift left mentality, like getting as close to the start of that software development lifecycle that you can get. And it gets at the earliest stages. So we do software composition analysis, static analysis, dynamic. It implements security at the earliest stages. When we move to cloud security, this is also getting into those risks, but we're looking at your posture management, vulnerabilities, misconfigurations. There's also a really great way to pin findings to compliance frameworks across the board. So depending on what you might want to track against or what you might be bound to track against, Datadog has this built in inside the platform, so you can see like line item by line item. Does my current stack suffice? Can I get this checked off? But then moving into threat management, I think SIEM, everyone is very knowledgeable about, right? That center data correlation platform. But workload protection and app and API are also really great offerings. So workload, that's that file integrity, that runtime look, what's going on in the registry, what's going through the command line, getting those process trees, so you can see live what's happening and have policies that detect and alert off of things that are on your VMs, your actual hosts. And API protection brings us up to layer 7. Uses a lot of standard or OWASP. It implements the OWASP top 10. Looks for application level attacks. You can trace, actually, it uses the same tracing library as the Datadog agent does for application performance monitoring. Application API, same library, same agent, no extra installation. But this looks at that application level, gets you security traces, and you can take it a step further. You can do automated blocking via Datadog. You can monitor, but you can and alert, but you can also get in that blocking action too. Really great. But I want to draw your attention down to the bottom, closing the loop. I come from an intelligence background. Data, information, and intelligence are very different. A lot of data can go into Datadog, and Datadog contextualizes it into information. But it's only really useful if it can get to the right people so that they can make decisions quickly. It's all about action. And Datadog is all about getting that information to the right people quickly so it's actionable. So Datadog inherently moves from data to information to actionable intelligence so that things aren't down for very long. Alerts don't sit. The right people get the information, make those decisions. I brought up tool sprawl, fragmented tool space, like all the capabilities that Datadog has just in one platform. And we're seeing the trends across the industry of companies looking to consolidate. There are a number of words on your screen, and Datadog can handle these. You may have a tool to do X, a tool to do Y. Over the years, it's common for these things, for new tools to be brought on. But it's getting cumbersome for clients that we work with. Causes a lot of noise, causes people to have to shift from one platform to another platform to another platform, trying to aggregate different field values. What does one platform call the same thing that this one does, right? So it introduces extra noise, but also introduces a lag in response. So Datadog offers that consolidated point of view for your developers, for your operators, for your security, right? DevSecOps gets it into one platform so that things aren't siloed. People can see, people can collaborate across this whole board. And if you see down on the bottom right, we have etc. Because you can probably add like a number of extra capabilities that Datadog allows you to get into that platform. But I think this gets across the point of just how robust of a platform Datadog is. And it's really just grown in its security offerings over at least the last 2 years. Makes it a really great partner. If you're looking forward, the platform continues to grow. So that's like the unified observability, the security. This summary slide here, right? We go from complete visibility, correlation, telemetry ingest, to contextualization. We move to assessing the business impact, right? Security is a business function, just like everything else. It has to support operations. It shouldn't be viewed as a siloed, segmented, like we work in the dark in some room that nobody can get into. So right, it really prioritizes things. It gets business impact, and it can improve collaboration between just those DevOps teams. As previously, right, DevOps and security were kind of separate, but Datadog now allows a unified DevSecOps approach, and that's going to be everything moving forward. But who are we as RapDev, right? We are a premier Datadog partner, and we do offer managed security services. So what does that mean for you as the business owner or as that security point of lead, as observability point of lead? You maintain control of your environment, and we come in and we work with you in your environment. We have guaranteed SLAs that we have for reporting or investigations. And I want to emphasize that we work with you. It's collaborative. We do nothing in a black box that you have to ask us what's going on. Transparency is absolutely paramount, and like we're here as a collective to try to progress the ball forward. There's no ownership that we will not touch. Like you can't see this. I really just want to stress that we're all about a collective push forward. And what do we do? Like this slide, what this is getting at is anything that you are pushing into Datadog from anywhere, we will analyze it, we'll work with you, and then we also fall in on your communication pathways, your ticketing. You see here common ones like Teams and Slack, Jira and ServiceNow. If you use it and that is your preferred method of handling those things, we fold in with you. We do not force you to deplatform or move platforms because that inherently adds delay or makes things cumbersome. And we're about speed, efficiency, and service. So this generally writ large is how how RapDev SOC folds in with you. But now let's move to now that we've gone over Datadog, who we are briefly. Let's talk about the crux here, right? Our partnership with Beyond Finance and what their whole trajectory looked like. So Beyond Finance was already heavily using Datadog, the observability side, and they moved into using the security side actually prior to our partnership. So they were no novices to Datadog. And in speaking with them and working with them, their engineers really demonstrate that they are not novices, which made our job a bit easier because it just like that collaboration, right? It really just propelled it forward. But what was the before state? Before we entered, before our partnership started, they were in need of an expert Datadog partner. Their previous provider lacked Datadog security experience, so it did kind of lead to a bit of a mismanaged environment. There was, if you look down the bottom left, there was some noise, but it was nothing that we couldn't handle, right? They had like really great engineers, really great analysts. So together we were able to tackle this. They needed support, but we were definitely positioned well as a team to really get at that crux of cutting through that noise. Going back to the title here, cutting through that noise, getting insights to the right people, freeing time. And in fact, that was our goal, right? Reduce noise, increase efficiency, increase bandwidth. If I'm going to take one here to harp on, is increasing bandwidth, being able to free some people's plates to focus on other things, let them zoom out a bit. That has numerous downstream impacts, both the personal level at the organizational level, at the general business level. So that's what we were targeting, like increased bandwidth. So what did we do? We take a whole platform method in addressing security on the Datadog platform. Some of these things are going to look familiar to our security practitioners. Some things might be new and say, oh, I didn't think about using some Datadog functionality like that. Over this last weekend, I had a conversation with another analyst who works on a different platform, and he was saying, yeah, you get your rules loaded, get them bar graphs up, and you're good. And I didn't launch into this conversation, but there's so much more capability in Datadog than that, but also so much more to security monitoring than that. So let's start with suppressions, top left. Removing known good patterns. If we know someone is recursively doing an action, we do not need to alert on that, right? So that is low-hanging fruit. That's going to cut out a bunch of noise, and that's an ongoing process. Re-evaluating suppressions applied, finding new patterns. These are really crucial to get that noise. That's like the first step of getting noise down, like getting things suppressed out. Let's move to the right to dashboards. Dashboards and reports go a little hand in hand. But dashboards, what are we doing? We're tracking trends over time. So if Jason continually tries to log into his Discord on his company computer, but is continuously blocked, that's not an alert that needs to go off, but that is a trend that can be tracked over time. Dashboards are very flexible. They can target users, they can target organizations, they can target signal patterns. This is used to see generally large amounts of time. It can be 2, 3, 6 months, to see patterns that wouldn't necessarily show up if you're watching your signal feed and handling alerts as they come through. So what does that do, though? It allows you to offload some of those detections, some of those alerts for Jason being blocked from signing into Discord, and moves them to another place in Datadog that is a included feature to allow you to monitor that over time. It's not, I'm sure many of you on this call are like, yeah, makes sense, we do that. That's not out of this world. But the reporting, automated reporting. Datadog allows you to do automated reporting from dashboards. I had talked about compliance earlier as an offering that Datadog has. You can automate compliance reports down to like I want to know by line item what's going on, by framework what's going on. You can get those to your GRC personnel. You can get them to management. You can get them to executives. And for reporting via dashboards, if you're tracking policy infractions, this is something that you can recursively get to people who can implement proactive solutions. So, policy, I'll come back to Jason logging into Discord. If you find that over 2 or 3 months, if we're looking at department, everybody in one department is seemingly breaking these policies, we can proactively start, okay, maybe we should get some more acceptable use training, or some pretty much any training, anything that can rectify that pattern. Again, those things that wouldn't really show up if you're watching those individual signals come through. That allows you to turn off those signals, more noise reduction. Down on the bottom left, auditing. Datadog, to its credit, has a very robust in-house security detection engineering team. So they are developing new detections constantly. What that means is if you write a custom rule, Datadog might come out with an out-of-the-box that does something similar, or in some cases overlaps in some way. Auditing was one way that we were able to deduplicate and cut down on alerts by finding things that were written to fill gaps at the time. Now there might be a solution that is doing that already. If one log triggers 2 alerts, we don't need both of them. So this was another thing which comes down to understanding how Datadog's detection engine and query language work, and grouping and filtering, so that we can identify this is doing the same thing as this other rule. So, removing those further cut down on noise. But auditing also gets to filling in gaps. We're not here just to remove things. We're here to help build better. So if there's a gap, we can identify it, say, there's this source with this attack vector. We can write a detection against that. I'm going to skip monitors because I really like monitors. I'm going to go to workflows. Workflows are Datadog's automation mechanism, workflow automations. You can get into SOAR implementations, right? You can take autonomous action to rectify things. You can synthesize information. You can start doing log searches, collecting, delivering that to people in email, in a Slack message or Teams message. But workflows lets things happen in the background autonomously, telling you that they did something, asking for your permission, or just delivering results. Again, that will allow things to happen without an analyst needing to have manual intervention. Increasing bandwidth. That increases bandwidth immediately. If things can happen in the background without someone having to monitor it, then and the results are delivered, that's only going to help those analysts more. I'm going to move back to monitors because this is a standard feature of Datadog that from the observability side seems to make sense, but from the security side has a plethora of methods of implementing it. A monitor, I call it monitor offload. You can use monitors in place of detection rules because you are looking for specific things, maybe in a warning threshold or an alert threshold, but to then take action and only do something or only alert you if it requires your attention. But also, if we come at it from maybe a network forensic perspective, you can set monitors that look at network statistics. You can have like traffic spikes. You can do this via dashboards. You can do this via detection rules. But what a monitor allows you to do is set warning thresholds and alert thresholds. So if this monitor goes into warning, you're catching that activity earlier than waiting for the alert to go off, waiting for that detection to fire, and saying this has happened. You can now shift left and say this is starting to happen, starting to rise. So if you have a good understanding of the baseline of and I'm just using networks here. If you have a good understanding of what your traffic looks like, then you can leverage these things to find those anomalies. But again, also work with the engineers. Security is not supposed to work in a silo. So if something starts to rise, that security team can work with the engineering team for those operators, those application owners, so they can collaboratively say, no, this is not related to anything that we know is happening. Right there, right? You've shifted left, you get collaboration, a big thing that I brought up about Datadog. Another example, host healthiness, memory utilization. You can catch those things earlier than when things have already gone wrong. You can watch them going wrong and intervene. And the last one I'm going to bring up is cloud cost. There have been examples in history where people have found that malicious actions because their bill increased. If you and everybody's sensitive to money, right? If that bill increases, then you know that something has changed, which then you can trace back. Because what is one of NIST's baseline definitions of cloud is that things are measured. I think it's metered service. So you get down to being, hey, like there is this specific line item that we're spending more on. Why is that? That's one way of catching bad action. And that's one way to say, oh, now we have a gap we need to fill. Those are ways that we reduced false positives, reduced noise, and increased bandwidth. But other features on Datadog that are inherent in the platform that we got at are case management and notebooks. These are ways of collaborating, of bringing people into one space and centralizing information. So while all of these things helped to reduce the noise and help people be more effective, Datadog also offers ways of bringing individuals inherent in the platform to the same place to see the same information. So now I'm going to kick it over to Vinod from Beyond Finance, give a little introduction and give their perspective.
Hey, thank you, Jason. That was a great presentation. Hey, hello everyone. Myself, Vinod. I'm working as a Senior DevSecOps Engineer at Beyond Finance. I'm here to share about Beyond perspective and Beyond Finance point of view on Datadog and RapDev services. Before we partner with RapDev, we were already having partnership with different vendor, and at the time we were created a lot of detections, and then we use a lot of Datadog inbound or to be alerts and everything. But the main concern was we were having so many signals, and that is causing a lot of noise. Like, if you're having like thousands of signals coming in a day, and you're having only small percentage of amount where actually it needs a human attention. That made us very hard for us to do prioritization and then effectively work on those signals. So the main goal is like, we need to reduce the noise, and we need to, you know, kind of add the contextual analysis between these signals, like, add like what is the background between this alert and what kind of alert is this, and how we can reduce this kind of noise, and how we can effectively focus on what are the true positive things instead of working on false positives and lot of background signals. That way, like, we got a chance to partner with RapDev, and we engaged them. Initially we did some kind of audit, and at the time we found like, so many signals that may not be needed human attention, that can be kind of do auto suppressions, and some kind of signal that may not be kind of converted into the monitor instead of the signal. So we did a lot of homework with them. Finally we were able to reduce the noise, and then, kind of coming to the good posture, like, where exactly we can focus on the real alerts than the false positives. RapDev helped us in building the dashboards, and then they did add so many suppressions. We create the workflows, like, once signal is triggered, it is automatically we create data workflows where that signal has to reach out to the right person. Automatically it will reach out to the right person. It will get their kind of opinion on that, like whether it is it by you or it by somebody else, something kind of checks bit by the signals. That way, like, we were able to effectively like streamline this SOC operations, and I can say currently the reduced price ratio, like, kind of 50 to 60% of we reduced compared with where we are standing prior. Now we were able to reduce 50 to 60% of signals to alert ratio. We are effectively managing them. And I can say, like, we added a lot of contextual analysis between the signals that helped us to easily, like, go back and check and the background about the signal. Suppose the signal shows like, the user login from different country where they are supposed to log in from one country. There we added the contextual analysis about the signal, like how we need to triage as a SOC engineer, what kind of things you need to check before we can come to one conclusion, whether it's true positive, false positive. So those kind of information RapDev added, that was very easy for our engineers to go back and check it out. And that way we were easily like, effectively triage these signals. Finally, I would like to say, before we wrap up, I would like to say, like, the alert ratio reduced between like 50 to 60%, and the core automation reduced our operational works to 50 to 60%. And our currently we are focusing more of a, like, signal noise management as well as practice signal optimization. And that way, like, we are able to effectively do the scalable security operations, I can say. Instead of working on unnecessary things, we are just working on the what we need exactly to work on. uh, and the partnership helped in terms of, even, I mean, like, the case we just now Jason mentioned about the case management. We use case management effectively in Datadog to track our true, I mean, like, high priority items where we add the notes and everything, because Datadog has the option to create the notebooks as well. So we add the notes according to the signals, and we track everything in the Datadog itself. Uh, Finally, the partnership helps us to move from reactive noise management to proactive signal optimization. And that is the real path to our scalable security approach. And we made a better success with RapDev. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Vinod. So we're gonna take it to Ron for Bits AI.
Hi, nice to see everyone here. Thank you, Vinod. Thank you, Jason. My name is Ron Feldman. I am a staff product manager at Datadog on the Bits AI security analyst as part of our Cloud SIEM team. And so we announced our Bits AI security analysts at our Datadog's Dash conference in June, going into preview. But even before that, we had started to work with Beyond Finance as a key early design partner. And so we'll talk about that briefly. But what is Bits AI Security Analyst? So it's a Gen AI agent that autonomously investigates your SIM signals, recommends a triage conclusion, and shows the detailed investigative steps and analysis that helped it reach that triage conclusion, and then offers immediate ways to take immediate action to remediate issues. So if you go to the next slide, this just shows what it looks like. So you're seeing here Datadog SIM, and then you can see the Signal Explorer. There in the severity column, it shows when Bits does an investigation and reaches a conclusion. Since it's a static screenshot, you can't see, but if you hover over that conclusion, you can see the initial severity of security signal. And what you can see over on the left is that when Bits does an investigation, it adds a facet to the security signal. So you can filter by the ones that Bits has autonomously investigated. And then the side panel itself shows the results of the investigation. So this is a benign signal. So Bits has investigated and concluded that this signal is benign activity. So it shows exactly what triggered the rule. It shows the conclusion, and it shows the key evidence supporting that conclusion. And then down below, it shows all the detailed investigative steps. So right now, Bits is leveraging signal querying and log querying throughout the Datadog's platform. And, tens of thousands of logs and reasoning on them, and showing its exact reasoning as to, again, what was benign or suspicious activity. So if you go to the next slide, you can see what it looks like when it's suspicious. And again, the idea is to quickly identify when things are suspicious and give you enough information to either continue an investigation or take remediative action if that's what's necessary. So we linked to lots of our action buttons in our platform, including running workflows in our native SOAR integrations, like Jason was talking about earlier, creating a case in the case management that Vinod was talking about as well. And so that's Bits AI Security Analyst. If you go next, fundamentally, we think that this really augments the SOC team, much in the same way, or in addition to a partner like RapDev, in that it autonomously investigates your SIM signals, provides you those conclusions. And we believe, and the evidence has shown that it reduces triage time from something like 30 minutes for a signal to 30 seconds to validate the results of Bits AI. And then again, help you towards accelerating towards remediation. So what's next? So we started off with CloudTrail, which is what is live for our preview partners. Any day now, we will be releasing coverage for GCP and Azure signals. And then we're aggressively expanding to different attack surfaces and sources in Q4. So authentication, collaboration tools, dev tools, endpoint, and email. And then we are also working to help add more organization-specific context to our investigations in a variety of ways. But yeah, I could talk endlessly about the things we have planned, but we were really excited to continue to work with Beyond Finance and RapDev as early partners, and giving us feedback on the investigations and the formatting of how the agent is explaining its reasoning, et cetera. And yeah, happy to talk to anyone or answer any questions as we get towards the end here about how Bits AI Security Analyst works and how it might continue to evolve. So yeah, we're still accepting preview customers for those who are using Datadog's Cloud SIEM, and then hoping to go general availability as soon as the end of the year. That is Bits AI Security Analyst from Datadog, and then I think I'm throwing it back to Jason.
Yeah.
I think, Jason, before we go on for questions and conclusion, I would like to add a couple of points regarding Bits AI. We got a chance to partner with Datadog on Bits AI preview mode. At the time, we enabled this for our CloudTrail or logs. All the kind of CloudTrail alert logs are now trashed by Bits AI. Now, human intervention is very less. Everything is taken care by Bits AI. And that go back and checks about historical data in Datadog logs, and it gives you some kind of pro like detailed conclusion. I can say, whether you can 99% you can rely on those results. It checks all the historical logs, and it provides you whether the signal is really a suspicious signal or a benign signal. So you can just go back and check the analysis, and from there directly you can go back and mark the signal according to the recommendation provided by Bits AI. I am really liking Bits AI. I'm really looking forward to other sources, we are happy to check on Google Workspace along with some kind of GCP. So if Bits AI elaborates, I mean expand those into those areas, we are looking forward to test them as well.
Great. Thanks for adding that color. So what was our impact? Going back to the general trend of cutting through the noise with RapDev, with Bits AI, everything included. So these are the by security solution, Cloud SIEM and workload and application API reductions that we were able to achieve. These were taking the lifetime of the RapDev Beyond Finance partnership. So as you can see in each of the three security SKUs here, that's measurable impact. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of noise, or a lot of time given back. It's a lot of noise cut out. And what this really gets back to is what I said was paramount in the beginning: increasing bandwidth for Beyond Finance's security personnel to come out of that trying to handle everything coming through, all these signals coming through. It allowed them to step back and go proactive. What can we do next? What is the next thing the business needs to lean into? And I'm very proud of these results. But security is a marathon, right? Not a sprint. So we are every day we're trying to progress that ball forward. That is it for the presentation. So now we can go into a little bit of Q&A. So if you do have questions, please send them here, and we'll get on answering them.
Okay, looks like audience are not having any question, but I have one question to Ron. Ron, when can we expect Bits AI implementation for Google Workspace? Any kind of timelines in place for that?
I will optimistically say November for Google Workspace. So it's definitely an important source for lots of our customers, including one internally here. One of our key stakeholders, our internal security team, and they are hot on our trail for Google Workspace, in addition to G Suite from an authentication standpoint. And obviously there's overlap there as well. So yeah, so definitely hard at work on that.
Got it. Thank you. So I have one question for you, Jason, as well, regarding the SOC improvements and operations. How you guys are keeping updated with real world trends, how you guys are keeping updated with real world kind of attacks and everything, and what kind of knowledge articles and other sources you look before you create detection rules.
So that's a good one about the threat intelligence intake. So RapDev is a member of the Massachusetts Cyber Program, the Cyber Partnership. What that is a joint venture between federal entities like Homeland Security, CISA, FBI, NSA, state entities like the Executive Office of Cyber at the governor level, state and rather local authorities, and some private sector. So we have monthly threat briefings. We get intelligence updates recurringly, depending on when they send them out or when they get them. We get synthesized. We also get pass-through reports, and all of that helps inform us about how should we now approach operations inside a client environment. So it's a really robust program that we get to be a part of, and that really enables our detection abilities.
Got it. Thank you.
I have a question for both of you. Are you seeing, we've seen some of our customers have noted that with AI powered attacks, we're seeing an increase in security threats and security signals, incidents, all the rest. Are you seeing a uptick in that curve? Particularly supply chain is one that's been mentioned a lot.
Yes, writ large, the answer is yes. I think the low buy-in to using AI tools, or using AI tools to at least develop methods of attacking are definitely on the rise. Not only do we see it in our client environments, but as I was talking about the partnership that we're in with Massachusetts Cyber Program, often we get updates about new methods of using AI to support offensive operations, new ways of exploiting AI that shouldn't be allowed to support offensive operations. But it is a hot button topic. I don't see any questions currently appearing. But please feel free to throw them in if any of my cohorts here see anything that I am not seeing. Please bring it up. All right. Well, barring any last minute alibis, if anyone wants to, Vinod, Ron, if anyone wants to chime in, have some last notes, I think we're good to wrap up the session.
Thank you both for including me and for continuing to be great partners, both of you. So thanks again, and yeah, great to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Great, appreciate it. And thanks everybody for joining. We'll hopefully do this again.